today we're going to be talking about the daily nutritional needs of children. Now, a child is in the most high growth phase ever, right? The kind of growth a child's body experiences never happens in the rest of our human life, which means your child needs a lot of nutrients that are going to support and enable this growth. Also, children are naturally more physically active, and because of that, there is often a lot of repair and recovery work that is also needed in the body. So, what are the basic nutrients your child would need to ensure that their growth and their repair and their recovery, along with a good immune system, is happening simultaneously? Let's start off with the macronutrients itself, right? So, what are macronutrients? Macronutrients are nutrients that you need in larger quantities. What are these? There is protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Proteins are the base building blocks of every human being's body, and children actually have higher protein needs. Like an adult can do with 1 gram per kg of body weight. A child, depending on the child's activity, whether the child is actually into athletics and sports, will need much more than that per kg of body weight. What are good sources of protein? Eggs are the preferred source of protein for children because eggs are complete protein. You could also give your child seafood like prawns and smaller fish, because the larger fish actually have a lot of mercury overload. Red meat is a really great source of protein again, but I know a lot of children are not really comfortable with red meat because it requires more chewing and it has a really strong flavor. Chicken you could give your child, but I would prefer the ratio of red meat to actually be much higher than chicken, because red meat gives you better quality of fat. So these are the protein needs. Now, if you're a vegetarian, paneer and dahi is good if your child is not lactose intolerant or dairy sensitive. If you're a vegetarian, your child is also dairy and lactose sensitive, then you could look at dals and pulses as a source of protein, but often these don't get absorbed really well, and you might need to supplement with essential amino acids or something to kind of give the child the protein that the child needs. So that's protein. The second is fats. Like adult humans, children also do really well on saturated fats. So ghee, butter, coconut oil are what I would recommend you include in your child's diet. Apart from that, children have brains that are growing rapidly, faster than an adult's. Like most adults' brains don't even grow, but children's brains are growing. And for that growing brain, you really need a fatty acid called DHA. So DHA is usually found in seafood. If you're someone who is not consuming seafood, if your child doesn't like the smell of fish and prawns and is not consuming seafood, then you need to bring in a good quality DHA supplement. This is essential for your child's brain and cognitive growth. You will see, even in terms of intelligence and academic performance, the minute you include omega-3 fatty acids, right, you'll see how their brain just starts working so much better. The third is carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are anything. So they could be fruits, these could be vegetables, these could be grains, these could be legumes. Carbohydrates actually bring a lot of variety, and carbohydrates are important in growing children because this is what gives our bodies the energy it needs. Include local seasonal fruits and vegetables, preferably organic, because you don't want chemicals going into your child's body. Also grains like rice and our local ancient millets, right, like jowar, bajra, ragi, these are really great as well. Even idlis and dosas actually give your child a good combination of carbs and protein. So that's your protein, fat and carbohydrate. Apart from this, children need a whole lot of micronutrients. Zinc is a very, very important one for kids because zinc is what helps your child build a really great immune system. You also need to give your child magnesium. Magnesium, often you're not getting it from food and water because that's what happened to our environment. So I often recommend that children, take a good quality magnesium supplement, B complex, and apart from that, if there are any additional needs, right, like if the child is into sports, into athletics, they might need other micronutrients, but that is best done, like you look at their blood test and then you figure out what's really going on inside the body and give that. Probiotics you can bring in if your child has gut issues. Again, with gut issues in children, I really prefer doing tests to figure out what's really going on before recommending probiotics, because sometimes the probiotics itself can trigger more problems. So these are the primary nutrient needs. So always make sure your child is getting the basic 3 macronutrients in the right ratio and getting the micronutrients that are needed in the right ratios as well. and you will see that your kid actually becomes more energetic. They start doing so much better at school, and you'll just see like your child's body just responds so much better to the right nutrition going in. Please, as much as possible, do avoid processed foods and seed oils because these are harming your child. Now, I know like kids are so influenced by the marketing that's going on, by the social pressure that's around them. That's the world that's like, always bombarding them with images of food and the most fancy thing coming in on TV. So I know it's hard to do that, but make processed foods the exception, not the rule. So maybe once in 15 days, once a month. That also, like if you can really read labels and buy good quality stuff, that would really help your child's health.